Thank you so much, everybody, for taking out the time to join us today. Shruti's given us a great introduction. I'm just going to give you a format of the conversation. I'm going to have one targeted question for each one of you, and then I'll ask you two questions, which we'd love to hear your perspectives on. Like Shruti introduced, PR, of course, is at a very interesting point in time. We're looking at a very interesting in 2026, PR has changed. The definition, the meaning, the value it holds has changed. We see a lot more apparel tracks coming in. There's social media, there's influencer marketing, like we know how big it's become over the past few years. Also looking at paid marketing, paid ads, etc. There's a lot that PR now has to catch up with. So my first question will be to you, Vitasta. You've been in branding, comms, marketing for 19 years. So consequently, you have sat across many PR agencies. Some you've seen grow in front of you. Some you probably have seen not grow so well also. So we would love to understand from you, what are those factors that you first notice when you see an agency grow? Likewise, what are the first few signs that you kind of understand where you see growth happening, but there is also a little bit of they're also losing the edge that they started out with. So we'd love to hear your opinion, hear what you think about us, honestly.
Is this better? Yeah. All right, great. So I'll answer this question in 3 or 4 distinct parts, okay? So just by a show of hands, how many of you in this room have been in the PR and marketing industry for over 10 years now? Okay, a small number, but they will be able to sort of answer. And the question that I'm trying to now ask is, 10 years ago, how different did your PR proposals look vis-a-vis, how they look in 2026? Like maybe in 2015 or 2016, you all were probably sending proposals to brands or to startups or any organization which only spoke about how many coverages you were going to give them in a month, right? And that has completely changed now. How many proposals do you send now which actually talks about coverage numbers every month versus the retainer or whatever you're charging them? People's perspective towards communication, PR has completely transformed. Earlier, communication was very compartmentalized, very boxed. So there were your legacy platforms like television, radio, newspapers, which had very dedicated comms that were going on, and PR was very supplementary and only spoke about very overarching pieces of communication that the organization wanted to, let's say, relay to their stakeholders, which were either their customers, their shareholders, to the market in general, or to the government, or whatever. They were more like signals, or they were more like overarching messages, but they were normally never consumer-facing. But now PR has become a very integrated part of your day-to-day comms, right? So you can't really differentiate PR from marketing anymore. It's very different. And because I've worked for 19 years primarily in startups, the hard and cold truth is that startups always look at PR as a very discretionary expense. It's not something that they bill into their day-to-day functioning. It's not like sales or marketing or tech or operations. It's not something that's priority for them. So when you go to them, you can't be telling them that, we'll give you 30 coverages and we'll charge you like an X amount for it. It's not going to work. Mostly with what happens with startups is they don't own any space yet. Like with a Tata or let's say with a larger organization that a PR company might be servicing, they already own a space. So it's just about sort of hammering and driving communication which supports that narrative or talks more about or helps them to sort of build a narrative in that space. Now with startups, normally founders are pretty clueless. They don't know what space they own. They don't know what they need to talk about. And that's where a PR agency becomes that partner or that extended arm that actually guides the founder, tells the startup that, look, you're in this space. Like for example, with Hooper, I remember it was a music tech platform for music licensing. How many people in this room even know what music licensing means in the context of marketing? Very few people, right? Like most youngsters don't. Most people your age are working in branding teams across other startups and other organizations. They had no clue. So building awareness was the first thing. And that's when I remember when Bloomingdale came to us with their proposal, I was blown away. I was like, इनके साथ काम करने में मजा आएगा, because they came and told us what's the narrative and what's the space that you need to own. So number one, yes, in 2026, if you're a PR agency, you have to tell your client or the person that you're going to service something that they don't already know, or they know but they don't know how to go about doing it. So building the right narratives, being present in the right rooms, being a part of the right conversations, that's what really builds value over a period of time. It's not the number of press releases or the number of coverages that you're providing. The second part to this is, how do you know that, maybe an agency is plateauing or they're losing their edge? Is when, I think, when a founder or a CMO comes back to you and says, okay, what next? And, we are not seeing too much value, or the conversations that are happening, let's say on a social media or a LinkedIn, are not really resonating with where the business is right now. It means that somewhere you as an agency have failed to deliver on communication, or have failed to create a narrative that is in sync with the business's objectives at that point of time. So maybe there you need to relook at your strategy, maybe, understand what competitors are doing, come back with something fresh. And if that doesn't happen, then it's mostly bound to happen that they will move on and find someone else who's able to deliver that value for them. So yeah, largely that. Because it's the whole startup space is very volatile. They want to be frugal, okay? So they don't have that much money to spend. PR is not an immediate or the most important thing on their list of things to check off, sorry. So somewhere you have to bring value to the table, and I think you can only do that where you're actually helping them create or build that narrative, or that industry expertise, or that domain, how do you say, supremacy, right? So if you're not doing that, then you're not adding any value.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Vitasta. My question to you would be, like, of course, like we've seen her share her stance on startups. You come from a very different side of the table. You've worked with global brands. You are also leading, the global markets, the APAC, Middle East markets. So we would love to hear from you. Does PR still hold the strongest seat at a communication at the table when we discuss solely communications, or has that gravity shifted? Would also want to add a follow-up question. What is it that us as an agency sometimes miss when it comes to understanding how things function? I'm so sorry. How things function in the global market?
Okay. So the truth is, PR is not important anymore. The marketing guys have taken over, and they are the ones who are sitting in the boardrooms and talking to leadership. And when the budget allocations are done, when they're talking about the future and what the organization is going to do and so on, they are the ones who are part of the core team having those conversations. PR becomes important periodically when there is an activity, or when there is a crisis, or when shit hits the roof. That's basically when you suddenly become, the center of all the attention, and you get a very small window to justify your presence in the room. And I think today PR professionals, who just pure PR professionals, are in a crisis, because just PR is not good enough. You need to do more than just PR, and you need to integrate the whole organization and see how it links with the vision, where the company wants to go, where the brand wants to be, where the revenues are coming from, and you need to have a strong stake in those conversations. And today, that is what most PR professionals don't get. And especially a pure play PR agency, the risks are that much more. What are the conversations from a global point of view? Well, it is the same. And what is happening is that the narrative is being taken away from the organizations and companies, or you think that a narrative is formed by a media organization. No, it's not. And I'll give you a case in point. Donald Trump, he doesn't rely on media. He doesn't rely on media to come and write about what he's doing, good, bad, whatever it is. He puts his social media post out, and then the narrative follows that post. And that's what, more and more people are realizing, that you don't need media to create a narrative. You are integrating a lot of other things. You can have your owned media to build a narrative, and then the rest of the media will follow. So how we put our news out, how we put our messages out, how are we integrating it in all the different platforms, how are we driving those messages. And it's very interesting, sorry, just a little deviation. Interesting, Donald Trump news cycles are typically 2 weeks. And I'm sure you heard about it. This is something I picked up. I was doing some reading and I picked up. Why? Because people's attention spans are getting shorter. So his news cycles are 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, he's on to something else. He's doing something else. And this is and this is the world we live in. Someone said there was the VUCA world, now there is the Barney world. Whichever world that we are living in, it is changing so rapidly that we need to be constantly evolving. And fortunately for me, I have the memory of a goldfish. So I don't remember what I did 10 years ago, and I'm learning something new every day, and this is where we are, and this is where the global brands are.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Jagrati. So I will, taking inputs from what Vishwa just said, what we're also looking at, like he said, PR is an added function. There are also many more channels that have come in, right? There's social media, there's influencer marketing, AI has come in as well. So my question to you is around consolidation. What do you think, personally, should consolidation, like we see a lot of brands are now preferring to partner with larger network agencies who are also, again, a one-house solution for all, whether you look at PR, you look at social media, you look at performance marketing maybe as well. So what is your take on this? If you were to, for example, present a case to a CEO, what is that recommendation that you would go ahead with? Would you rather suggest them to go ahead with an agency that's consolidated, or would you still, would love to make a case for agencies or companies that are, again, very independent and niche down in one particular factor of comms?
Okay, quite a complex question. I hope you all understood, right, what she was asking? Okay, no, that's a very good question, Ekta, and I would try to make it as easy as possible and taking cues from both what they said. See, today, let's understand, AI has exposed PR. Okay, it's no more the same that we did years ago, 10 years ago, or whatever, even 1 year ago or 1 month ago, right? And today PR is not looked at it in a singular lens. It is integrated, okay, as he rightly said that. Today, PR doesn't just earn a seat. It is the IMC, Integrated Marketing Communications, that really work out and beat crisis. And, oh, well, we love crisis, right? Every day there's a new crisis, and otherwise we won't get our salaries. So it's part of our DNA now that we have to fight the fire every day. Now, if you ask me from the lens of a CMO/CCO, what would I prefer? Well, okay, so we see a trend that nowadays the MNCs are looking for a big agency who can control all the PR mandate across all the sectors. Okay, there I would say yes, I need one PR agency who handles, and I don't want to work with 5 different agencies. इसके लिए एक, उसके लिए दूसरा. It doesn't really work out. But I think where you are coming from is a little different. And that's where I have a difference of opinion as a CMO, is that I don't want one agency who is doing everything for me, jack of all trades, master of none. I don't want that. I want jack of all trades, master of all. So I would really prefer, I don't mind working with 2-3 agencies, but I want my numbers to be accurate. Now, it also drills down to a very important point where I think the youngsters would want to know it better, is at the end of the day, what are you trying to do? You are trying to do what I am trying to do and what my CEO is trying to do. There's one common thread. Any guesses? Whatever the world is, Yuka, Bani, whatever it is, there's one thing that everyone is dying for. Numbers. everyone wants profits, everyone wants to see growth in numbers. So guys, if you are not able to put all your campaigns and projects and tally them as numbers and present to the client, it is of no use. Same for me. I'm also fighting the same war, and my life is no different in a corporate AC office, right? I have to then show the same numbers to my CEO and for the CEO as well. So where I'm trying to drive the point is, I want agencies to work with me to make sure that I have my numbers right. You have to make me look slash my function slash my CEO look better, right? One last point is, today's world, PR can't be seen in isolation, as we spoke, right? I really want, and it adds more work to me as a CMO actually, if I'm working with multiple agencies, that I have to sit and orchestrate it all. But utna to karna chahiye. So it's very easy to hire one agency and expect all of it in one basket, but I don't want to do that. Just want to end my discussion is IMC is very important. Today PR can't work in isolation. It has to marry social media. It has to marry what else is happening in the world. And fortunately, unfortunately, gone are the days where I was only relying on my CEO and Mr. Trump, for example, to speak. But today, everyone looks smarter in AI world. I am running a company, but my employees are all out there talking on social media. Much before a press release or an article comes out, an employee somewhere sitting in Patna or Jamshedpur is all out on social media. So how do you control that? And everyone looks nice, right? And nice and pretty. They're talking well, they write good articles, don't mind, I also write. But yeah, so that's the challenge, where if the PR agency can be more strategic, and last point is to be more productive, is don't come and tell us crisis ho gaya hai. We would rather want to know how my reputation management, and we are moving to a trust economy now, is that how my future is going to look, and how we are going to sustain any crisis that may come because of AI. I was just in a room full of CCOs recently, and you know what the fear was? कल सुबह उठ के मेरा CEO का नाम एप्स्टीन फाइल्स में नहीं आना चाहिए. And well, we will laugh on it, but it's so chilling to even imagine. And that has happened. I don't want to name the CEOs, but it has happened. And poor CCOs like us, we are like burning the midnight oil on how not to make the CEO get more exposed. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Jagriti, for the insights. Thank you. Karthikeya, I have a very interesting question for you. You're building a category, you're building a brand in a category that didn't even exist 5 years ago, you know, the lab-grown diamond space. So, of course, there is no set-out playbook for a brand as such to be able to, no playbook, right? So how do you look at briefing brands, your agencies or your partners or your team as well, when it comes to PR, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to social media? And if you could help us understand the order of importance that you look at these channels, and where are you spending most time, or as a brand, what channel holds the most weight for you?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Great. I'm in a space called lab-grown diamonds. Yes, and as Ekta mentioned, that it's a brand that probably didn't exist for the last 5 years, but I would say it existed for the last 20 years. And it's just that it's now that people are being aware of it. And well, we've been listening from the panel that, you know, there are certain things that we know, we don't know, and you get to hear about things from the social media. So today, if you don't brand yourself, Google will. And that's where we need the right PR agency. And when I talk of PR, for me, it is the context, right? In terms of how you're communicating. And friends, what is communication? When you communicate, you become one with each one of us sitting here. If I'm saying something and it is landing differently to some of you, then I'm not communicating. Likewise, when you are speaking something and it is not landing to me, then you are not communicating. So when you commune, you become one. And the context is very important in a communication. So what is the context in which, you know, you are communicating? And when you take care of the context, the content flows in. But today we are kind of operating in a reverse way. We focus on the content, go to the AI, take help of the technology. That's fine, but yes, it's about getting the context right, and then the content will flow in. So to answer you, we are in a space of information right now and education, and eventually we are getting into transactional. So that's what telling people, educating people about what lab-grown diamonds is. It's a very interesting field. I don't know how many of you right now own a lab-grown diamond, but I'm pretty sure that next year when we have this session, each one of you, or at least 90% of you, would be owning a lab-grown diamond. So that's where offers and she asked distributing, right? So that's where Bloomingdale has helped us, not just as a agency which is out there to manage the press release and all. We have had conversations with Dinah and team, where we had a problem area, we have discussed, and we have looked at getting a customer to our store. I don't know which PR agency would probably do that, you know. And yes, discounts offer. So, VK, we have really discussed in terms of, Dinah, this is the problem area. So we had a store. We have a store in Pune, in Phoenix Market City. It's a beautiful store, but the challenge out there was walk-ins. So we didn't just go and say that let's release some PR articles and everything. Dinah came and said, okay, let's look at what is it that we can do. Anyways, the speed at which she said was much faster. Let's look at what we can do. Yeah, but yes, and the execution was much faster, right? So she got someone like Nafisa Poonawala, curated the entire event. That was a wonderful experience. And Nafisa, being Nafisa, introduced by Dinah, she was a step higher. Like, she came a day prior, did a recce, saw what is it that is required, and the perfection at which she got that executed. And Dinah was, Karthik, please, no, you should get her. She's very good. I have done an event. I can't imitate Dinah. She's best at what she does. But see, what I'm trying to tell you is the speed of execution. The context was set, which was clear. The content was there, and then it's also the execution. When you marry all these three, you are in a win-win situation. So yes, that's the kind of importance that today PR has for us, and also it is the nature in which it has evolved for us, and how we are taking support from the Bloomingdale team. Thank you.
Thank you, Karthikeya. Thank you so much. Now, I have a question for all of you, and I would like to hear your perspectives one by one. AI, of course, has seeped deeply into how we function on an everyday basis. Say 5 years ago, we were sitting with press releases, drafting them from scratch, no help from outside. Plagiarism was a big thing. Clients would get really upset if they heard us copy-paste articles from somewhere or take information, right? Even when it comes to media mapping, even when it comes to setting narratives, AI is there to help us. Still, there is a lot that AI cannot replace. And when it comes to hiring PR agencies, what is that one factor that you still look at that helps you make the decision the fastest? So what is it that you look at in a PR agency or an agency that's handling communications for the brands you're at? What is it that you're looking at, that one particular factor that drives you to want to choose them?
Can I go?
Yes, please.
So, proactiveness. Simple. What are the ideas that the agencies are coming up with which puts my brand out over there proactively? And that also applies to the other side when things go bad. Proactively, how are you going to tell me that this is a crisis, this is going to unfold, this is how it's going to unfold, this is what we need to do? TCS, case in point. Right. How are they handling it? Did Chandrasekhar really have to go out, put a message? I don't know. I disagree. But it is happening around us. So I would like that agency to be proactive. I'd like the team to be proactive. I'd like the team to be on the ball, on the brand. And if they come to me with that compelling message, they are on.
Okay. I just picked up the mic because something really stayed with me when Colonel was speaking is presence of mind. And I think nothing like AI can replace that. And mind, AI ले सकता है, but heart and presence of mind is unmatched.
I think for me, of course, both of the things that they said, very important. But one of the other things that's very important when I'm gauging a PR agency is how much are they in sync with emerging tech and new platforms that are emerging for marketing, right? Because again, like we have been discussing for the last 20, 25 minutes, PR is no longer restricted to just newspapers or the news channels or whatever, right? It's unfolding everywhere. And how much of that distribution can you bring to the table? Because again, ownership of distribution is very important. Access to distribution is very important. And that distribution could even come from a very solid network of influencers that you have built as part of your PR offering. Because today, individuals are far more, it's a trust economy, like Jagriti said. So today, individuals are far more believable or credible in terms of a distribution platform for any brand, as opposed to putting something in a newspaper or in an article, because everyone knows that most brands are using an agency for PR and all of this is paid. Even a lot of your third party stuff is all paid, right? So owning the right distribution platforms and being very, very in sync with what are the new platforms that are emerging and what's the new tech. Of course, AI and all are all resources and productivity tools. In this, if you look at today's world, it's such a level playing field for everyone. Because imagine if you've come from different educational backgrounds, like someone who speaks very good English, someone who doesn't speak very good English, you can still give prompts to an AI in your native language and still get a very good press release written in English, like devoid of any grammatical errors and probably factually almost 95 to 98% accurate. But like, again, Jagti said that where are you going to get the presence of mind and the heart and that agility and that adaptability and the understanding of context, that's very important. So yeah.
And we are actually moving from, when we were younger, and I don't know how, we don't want to reveal the age, but yeah, so we were always taught that, yeah, we want a PR agency because we have to put that money there for campaigns. We want to do a paid thingy. Okay, this is the Gen Z, sorry, language. I have a daughter. So thingy and all that stuff, okay. So, but now it's more narrative. Okay, your narration, your narrative control is the topmost. Where I also go to other colleges, I tell the kids that, listen, your narrative has to be solid. Like he said, your target audience, you should know whether it's landing, not landing. And for me personally, the paid has gone way below now in the ladder. Is पहले अपना narrative confirm करो कि क्या है, and is it really landing for all the different target audiences. And it's a very general thing that I say, it's a little cliche, but in communications and corporate communications, what really happens is that the CEO is not my only target audience. Right from the watchman, the time I enter the building, to the CEO, everyone becomes my target audience. Okay, he's my stakeholder. He or she is my stakeholder. Also from the consumer point of view, right from the frontline employee to the end mile consumer is my target audience. So whatever I'm doing, however fancy campaigns or social media things I'm doing, is it really landing? Is my frontline employee even understanding what I'm saying? Is something that you have to probably give it a thought, a serious thought when you're doing your PR campaigns.
Well, I would say that, when we try to fight AI, you are fighting against technology, and then you're not playing to your strengths. And the best example of playing to your strengths is, I'll give you example of two great leaders that India has had. One is Subhash Chandra Bose, and second is Mahatma Gandhi, right? Both had their own way. But you know what Mahatma Gandhi ji did is, he went and when the British had guns in their hand, he just stood with a lathi. So what did he do? He played with his strengths, right? And the British didn't know what to do. Exactly, right? So that happens when you play to your own strengths rather than trying to fight something else with their weapons, right? And that's how I invite each one of you to look at AI, okay? Don't fight technology. Rather, look at how you can take help of it and use it for your benefit. Because if you use AI in the right way, believe me, each one of you sitting out here is going to be a next superwoman or a superboy or superman. Yeah, so that's why I said superwoman. Yeah. So that's where, so try and use AI. Okay, that is what I would say. And definitely there is this human touch that we talk about. I don't know if AI has emotions, but what is emotions? It's energy in motions. And that is something that a human would have, right? So have that human context, have that human touch, and you can build miracles out of it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, everybody. Now, the next one is not a question, but more of an advice or an opinion. So, we would love to hear from each one of you. If you were to advise us here at Bloomingdale to make certain investments when it comes to, it could be anything, it could be a skill, it could be a new function, it could be a new capability at all. So, what would that one advice be? Where do you think we should make investments in to set us up for success in the next 2 to 3 years? And if you think there is something that we should drop investing in like today or soon into the future, we'd love to hear that too.
First mover advantage. No copying. Okay. I sincerely feel in today's time, for you guys and for us equally, is we need to be master of all. Okay? Even if you call, and it's my personal opinion, Diana mujhe maanna mat baad mein. I know you call yourself a PR agency. I sincerely feel you should be a strategic partner, not for the namesake, to the client. Jao, you should know everything. Even if you're just a PR, you're not doing social media, you're not doing performance marketing, etc., but you should know it. Okay? Because you are, unless and until you know, you will not be able to address the pain area of the client. And if you don't address or you don't understand, starting from understanding, addresses later, if you don't understand the pain area of the client, you lose the deal, you lose the game. So my earnest thing is, keep yourself updated about everything. Be a master of all. What you offer is up to you, but you should know. And the success for me is there are dime and dozen PR agencies across. Okay, why would I call you? I should have, as a CMO, CCO, CEO, whoever I am, I have to have that confidence that midnight, agar there's a problem, I know I can pick up the phone and call Vikram, or I can call Diana, or I can call anyone else. But I should have that confidence, and you have to be the trusted advisor, and that won't happen overnight, guys. So that's a problem with Gen Z also. They feel, oh, I have joined an agency, I know it all. Give it time. Okay, and make sure that whoever client you're servicing, that person needs to trust you blindly at times. So that's my view.
So there are two things that I would advise that you invest in. One is get your entire team to do some very basic course in artificial intelligence. Beyond, AI is a very big world and a very big realm, far beyond your ChatGPT and Claude. Okay, it helps you solve problems. It helps you become more productive in ways that you cannot even imagine. So I will give you some references of some good programs, but I would suggest that everyone who's been with you for maybe over 6 months, get those folks to do a 10-day or a 15-day, like a short program. It will really help. The second thing that I would say you all should invest in is, it's very similar to what Jagriti was suggesting, like move from pure PR to strategy. There are different sectors that you're catering to. If you have somebody on your board in the capacity of a consultant or a freelancer who can do a free brand audit for the brands before you even audit them, before you even onboard them. What happens here is somebody who has, like say, has an expertise of the domain and of marketing, understands what the brand's real problems are. Okay, where are they struggling? Are they struggling with acquisition? Are they struggling with internal churn and retention? Are they struggling with credibility with stakeholders? Are they struggling, they're not able to bring investment into the company? What is their real problem, right? Because it's not a cookie cutter model. Like it's not a one size fits all sort of approach when it comes to PR. Everyone has a different problem and you have to solve their problem. So do a free brand audit. It'll take like a week, bring somebody on board, let them understand what the brand is doing, let them engage with the brand and give you like a 360-degree perspective of, look, these are the 5 things that I observed, and these are, out of these 5, they are struggling in these 2 areas. How can you help them to solve for those two problems, especially if they're in the marketing or comms space? So I think that's where you should invest in. I really think that'll add a lot of value to what you're taking to clients eventually.
A beautiful point on brand audit. That's my favorite topic right now. In fact, don't make the whole audit. It has to be chargeable also. Okay. तो free में मत करना. But that's a very good point. Today, the discussion has been कि it's not about the press coverage. It's no more AVE that we are doing. It's more of reputation, and reputation, unfortunately, has no fixed parameters, established metrics as of now. All agencies today are struggling to have the right metrics in place to say, oh, your reputation is 5 out of 10 or it is 8 out of 10. Okay, maybe that's an area you can actually think how you can ace the game there, and go back to your client saying that we have studied, your reputation is so and this is what we have to do across the board, and PR is just part of it. Okay, that's one. Second is, do you even know, have you gone back to your client and ever asked, PR karna hai, but what is your main pain area? Where is your business problem? Have you ever asked those questions to the client? Is something I want to leave to you behind.
I'll do the closing.
Sorry for the trouble. All right. So a while back, when I was leading a team of about 15 communicators, they were split into 4 different parts. There was internal comms, there was PR, there was marketing comms, then we had events and exhibition. And what I realized is all of us worked in a silo mode, and it really never came together for the brand. And one of the changes I did at that point is to say, the vision that I have for the team over the next 3 years is, how do we become integrated communicators? How do we become the single face to our business? And we solve the problems. We need, areas that some of us are great writers, some of us have fantastic connects in the media and so on. But how are we able to leverage the strengths of the others behind the team? The client doesn't have to see that. He just sees one person, and that one person is the solution to all his problems. And it worked. Today, when I look back at that team, 5 of them are global comms leaders in different organizations. So in a way, we created leaders at that point. So specialization is good, but you need to know about what else is happening. I think it was a great point that you made, and you hit it right on the head. It's not just about PR and coverage. It is how are you integrating all of it. In the financial world, they say follow the money. I think in the comms world, they say follow the message. Yes. And where does that message resonate? I haven't met a single PR agency till date tell me this message, this is how you can distribute it within your internal comms. This is what we can do from an internal comms point of view, and this will help you with the problems you're facing on your employee survey, or issues that you're facing on retention. Yes. We don't have that, and nobody has even thought about it. No one has come to you because you don't really, not my mandate. I don't get paid for it. I don't care, but you will not get paid in the future because you're not adding value to my business. And today, I look at value across every single platform or outlet where my messages are going. So wherever my messages are, if you don't have stake in it, you will at some point be irrelevant to me. Because there will be someone who will come and who will be relevant in all those spaces.
Well, one thing that I would say each one of you should invest is in my startup. Yes. Buy a diamond, buy stakes, both are welcome.
That puts the pressure on Salaries now.
No, I'll create a structure which is comfortable and each one of you grows. Yes, yes, tathastu. And well, two things that I would say to invest on is one is listening. See, the way we are structured, our body is, we have 2 ears and one mouth, right? So we at times listen to react, but always try and listen to respond. And when you do that, you will definitely develop a different level of connect and be it with whomsoever. Here I will talk in the context of the client or with your peers, your boss, ecosystem, or anyone outside. So listening, that is what I would really invite each one of you to, invest upon. And it takes a different muscle altogether to listen, right? Because we always are curious to sometimes react or respond. But the moment you really listen, you get the world of the other person and you don't have to sometimes even say anything, right? The mere presence can make a absolute difference. The second thing that I would say is to invest is upon building that trust. See, trend will get you the traffic. However, trust is what will help you build that legacy. So invest on building that trust with your client, with your ecosystem, and you will build that legacy. Thank you.
You want to say something? This is just something that came to my mind while I was listening. Why don't you guys actually invest in creating a platform which is probably AI led, helps in distribution? Because what happens is, see, not everyone can afford a 2 or 3 lakh retainer a month, but there are loads of SMEs or early stage companies that are looking to leverage PR. So maybe, I see them smiling. I feel like they're already thinking about it. They're doing something about it. But yes, like I genuinely feel any platform-led business today just completely eliminates the entry barrier that there is in terms of acquisition, customer acquisition, bringing people on the platform. And imagine the amount of data that you then have to play with cross-sectorally, uh, across different stages of growth that companies are seeing. And also make it AI driven, because there is so much learning and training that you can do on existing data that's in the public domain in terms of news, articles, competitor analysis, and all of that. And yes, how can you then tie it back to the brand audit and give somebody an existing reputation report versus where it should be and how you can help them? So I feel like use technology to your advantage. Like it's your best friend in today's day and time.
We are looking for investors to do that, and how we look for investors is that we call them for panel discussion.
While I may not be directly able to invest, I will help you connect with people who will be very interested in something like this. For sure. Sure. You call the right people.
Also, well, he told me not to tell you guys, but he asked us for donation for coming.
We have to buy food coupons like that. At least you can do that.
Okay, on a serious note, I'm so tempted to. We have
We have
minutes,
time.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. See, what Vidasta said is absolutely right. Invest in AI and everything. But you know what? There's a shift sooner than you realize that in comms, like I did it in my last organization, I cut off all the social media agencies and I recruited people. I did AI in house. So, what is the difference that you are going to add to my business, to my numbers? As I said, don't ever get carried away by the loss of numbers. But what is the value add that you will do? Because most of the companies today are investing in in-house AI. So again, something for you to think through.
Yeah, which is the first point I made. Like, get your team exposed to AI, have at least a working knowledge and working understanding, and how do you integrate that in your day-to-day workflows? Like, definitely work on that. You can't avoid it for very long. You'll become obsolete if you don't, jump onto that bandwagon.
No, well, thank you so much, everybody, for your insights. I think you've given us quite a lot to reflect on and a lot for us to plan. Good time. I mean, we're here at a stage where you want to plan the next year. So, Awesome, we're just going to use the next 5 minutes to open questions to the audience. If there is any, guys, any questions, please feel free. Nobody? Any questions? Yeah, sure, sure.
We anticipated the needs of the team. That's what a good PR agency
Hey guys, challenge us, yeah. Challenge us.
Yeah, guys, at least one or two questions I think we should. Yes, please.
How many hands are up here?
Yeah. Here.
Oh wow.
I just wanted to ask, which is that one AI tool that you want to recommend us? Like, considering you are telling us that there are so many AI tools and we can use it in our daily workflows. That is there like any specific AI tool that you love and you would want us to start incorporating in our workflows?
So I use this tool called Supergrow.
Okay.
Basically helps with a lot of my post creation, a lot of the marketing collaterals, a lot of stuff that I put up on LinkedIn. Also, when we were at Hooper, the team was using it to generate a lot of stuff. So most of your AI tools are just layers of productivity, and every few weeks there's a new tool in the market. So understand first of all, you as a person know that how your week looks and what are which are the repetitive tasks which are basically taking up a lot of your time and blocking a lot of your bandwidth. So look at appropriate tools to solve those problems for you. I find Claude exceptionally good when it comes to writing and reasoning compared to, let's say, a GPT or Gemini. You'll have to do that assessment and that research yourself, because my problem statements and my repetitive tasks on a day-to-day basis have been very different, and yours will be very different. So, yeah.
Thank you.
But things like Notebook LM and all are very good. Like, especially if you're researching topics, or let's say you're creating, you want to study a lot of material in a short span of time. Let's say a brand gives you 30, 40 documents to go through, like their decks, their documents, and derive something meaningful out of that. Something like a Notebook LM is really helpful. And then you'll have to figure out your own tools. Or call me, connect with me, tell me your problem. I'll tell you which tools to use.
Thank you.
So, can I challenge you back?
Yeah.
Now think out of the box, guys. Why don't you come up with some AI tool that your client really wants or needs?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I definitely want to save all the crores of Dinah. But on a serious note, see, right now the pain area is brand reputation metrics, as I just mentioned. And nobody's yet there. Why don't you come up with a solution? It's your IP, guys. And that's going to differentiate you from the Hajar agencies that are in the market. It's just a thought again. It's all free gyan, because Vikram is not paying us.
She's going to drive that.
Drive it home.
Hello. So we work on the global forum a lot. Even at Bloomingdale, Dinah and I work heavily with international partners, with our own network that we've built. When we're looking at the globe as a stage, what do you think differentiates PR from a client perspective? So, we know when it comes to the media landscape, how each region is different, or how we need to add value in each region to make it relevant. But when we're looking at it from a client perspective, in terms of your budgets, in terms of your, audience retention, or even in terms of how you want your brand to be perceived in each region, How does that change globally for you?
It's a very interesting question because, to be very honest, clients don't have a clue. They don't have an idea. And they say that there is something, there is a campaign which is global, they want to run it in different countries. How does that media in the country work? What are the metrics that they operate in? What are the people who are writing on that industry? What are the kind of share of voice that exists over there and so on? They don't have an idea. And that is where I guess the agency that is running global mandates comes to you with specific insights about the different countries and then say, this is a space, this is what we can do in this media, giving you this kind of reach, this kind of eyeballs, and these are credible media that helps you with your Google scores in that particular market and so on, where you link it from just putting the news out all the way, cover it till what is it going to mean for my Google search, and then how is it going to translate into leads for my business. If you're able to journey that arc, that would be incredible value. But I don't know how you're going to do it because it's not easy. It's quite complex for us to do it. Take, for instance, a market like Australia, right? You can't do earned media in Australia. It's paid media most times. Earned media, when you have a national news, there is an issue with the environment, there's an issue with coal, there's an issue with migration laws and so on, you may get in a voice. But if it is a new product or a brand that you're launching, there is no way in hell you can do earned media. So how do you then have that understanding of the market? Because you are based in India, you're dependent on affiliates. Are they then operating on the same principles and the same values and the same ideologies that you all are working on? So you need to then build those, build the relationships, have those kind of people, create that universe where you're aligned with some core principles and values that then puts the client's business in the heart of the whole thing. And then how do you deliver that? I don't know if this answers your question, but kind of a roundabout way.
So I add an element which is called get the culture right. Okay, and when you're especially working globally, and there's a beautiful book authored by Erin Meyer, who is an INSEAD alum, and that's called The Culture Map. And if you can really map it, there's a classic case study of Netflix, how just understanding the culture, they turned around their global operations. So just pull it from, Google, snapshot of that case study, and share with your team and as to see and what are the learnings from that. That will really create an impact. Thanks.
So my question is, as there are new technologies and innovations coming up almost every single day, so how do you guys think what the next decade in marketing and PR industry looks like?
I'm not there in the next decade. I've retired. I've moved on. But let me tell you, I've spent almost 3 decades now. And what I have seen from the time I started to where we are right now, it's become, while it's become unpredictable, it is also predictable. Now I'm dealing with kind of, what is the word? Dichotomy of these two things. People will be relevant 10 years from now as they are today. Probably fewer people, more talented people, more integrated with the business. They will be relevant. Media will be relevant, but what media, you don't know. 15 years ago, social media was not relevant. Today, it is. So tomorrow, what is going to be the new platforms that come in, and how are you kind of integrating that into your future activity? That's going to be important. And everyone speaks about AI and tools. These are tools, right? Productivity tools. But some core skills never change. And that core skills is something as basic as thinking, writing, and creating value. Now, if you are investing in yourself to do these 3 things, what you get out of the tool and how it works best for the client is a decision you make. So behind all the tools and technologies and process and AI and everything, there are humans. And as a human, you need to be relevant to make those tools work for you. And these skills will remain, and I wish you all the very best.
Stab at that answer. So, the entire social and basic social fabric is becoming more and more nuclear. It's becoming more and more isolated, right? Like there were communities earlier, there were joint families, now there are nuclear families, there's social media, so people are connected, but they're still very isolated and everyone has very specific preferences. That's what the OTT is now catering to, right? I feel like over the next decade, technology-wise, of course, there's going to be a lot more advancement, but I think consumption-wise, there is going to be very, very hyper-personalization that people are going to be looking for. Something that's very personalized to my tastes, my likes, my lifestyle, my value system. And how do you then integrate that back to overarching messages that institutes and industry leaders or organizations want to put out? That's going to be the challenge. The technology will not be something that will be challenging, because in the next 10 years, the kind of workforce and the kind of decision makers that come into the system are all going to be native first. So technology adoption is not going to be the challenge. Right now it is, because we're at that cusp. We're transitioning. So the adoption is not going to be the challenge. The challenge is going to be, how do you convey the same thing to everyone, because everyone is so different in their consumption patterns and in their lifestyle, in their thinking, in their belief system. That's going to be your challenge. So don't look at technology as something that's going to shock you. Something else will.
Just to add, because it's a very interesting point. When I did a press release previously, or when we were given an assignment, there was a project coming, I used to do a press release. There used to be an internal message, and that was it. Today, I have to do a press release, I have to do an internal message, I have to do a social media post, I have to look at how we amplifying it, and then I have to see how it goes into other platform. Video of it, short videos, that video cut into multiple reels, all of that. Tomorrow, there will be 5 new things. It's for you to be in touch with changes as they are happening, the hyper-personalization that she spoke about, and then how do you cater to those platforms?
I have to say something? Okay. Peer pressure now. Okay, one point, guys, is that we have always been through the years, 10, 20, 30, whatever it is. We have been speaking to the consumers. Today, we have to speak to the machines first. So that's a huge shift that has happened, and I don't know what's going to happen after 2 years, 3 years. Probably we will be working with only robots around. I don't know, and it'll be lucky that we are. I also don't know if the next decade has me or not. Yeah, so it's a big challenge on how. Yeah, we're scared, right? Yeah, so save us.
And in all this, what they have mentioned, diamonds will survive because they are forever. See, now you know where you need to invest. Yeah, but yes, a very interesting point that each one of them that they touched upon was change, right? And transformation. So it is going to be your individual ability to stand in that face of change and how you adapt to it. Got it? That is going to be very critical. You can't be upset about certain things and then sit back. No. Things happen. How is it that you're going to evolve yourself and keep moving? I'm not going to say keep walking, but say keep moving. Yeah? Thank you.
After the event.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Like you mentioned, sir, that brands do not look into PR just, but it's more about a holistic approach, like marketing or branding. And we as PR professional many a times try to come up with creative ideas, be it campaigns or partnerships for brands other than the press releases or crisis management. But there are multiple instances where the plans are not approved, maybe because of the budgetary constraints or internal approvals. So how to navigate this challenge and keep thinking out of the box?
Well, your client's office is a graveyard of great ideas, right? So, you need to time it right and find out how to put those ideas across. And a lot of times, just for instance, just imagine, I'm just expanding on this. Imagine Ogilvy went up to Vodafone and they say that there is this idea where there's a guy swimming and there is a dog and the dog will go up and down and we will have a soundtrack. That's the idea. Imagine a client who sat and heard it, and how many of them will say, okay, let's do it. 10 out of 10 will say no. But probably there was Piyush Pandey and there was, people over there who pushed the idea through and they made it work. And we know what that Vodafone campaign is. I don't know, most of you might have not even seen it. Sorry, it might not have relevance to you guys, but look at the Vodafone campaign and the pug and you will know what I'm saying. So you need to time it right. And maybe you will get 9 ideas rejected. But if you don't get dejected by it and you are not disappointed and you continue coming up with great ideas and continue integrating it on different platforms, how it will make a difference to my business and how it will be relevant for the problems that I'm facing, I'm sure you will have at least 10% or 15% of your clients who are open to the ideas. When your ideas get rejected or when your plans don't work through, it is not a failure on your part. It's a failure on the client side. Now, I've been in this business long enough to know that there is a lot of junk as far as the clients are concerned, to an extent where they don't even bloody write their own stuff. It's either AI or asking agencies. I have had places that I have worked, my colleagues who call the agencies to say, "Tum brief likho, मैं brief approve करेगा, फिर तुम plan बनाओ." I've had that, and I'm sure most of you guys would have faced that. You talk about a campaign, you talk about results, and you talk about numbers. In their mind, it's not, what amazing work, great job, well done. No, they are thinking, how am I going to showcase this for my next promotion or for my growth or for my whatever? It's a very personal thing. It's part of our business. It's part of our life. Junk exists. But continue doing it. If you're able to get your ideas through 1, 2, 3 ideas work and they make a difference to your client's life, then slowly you kind of go through that breach and get more and more ideas through. But don't give up just because there are bad clients. One last question. There is one writing
Please go. It's okay.
She's already asked.
So we'll take 2. You can close it.
Question is that now the topic is where Indian PR goes next. But compared to the past 5-10 years versus today, what exactly, what do you expect from your PR agency, what it was before 10 years back and what it is now? At an individual capacity as a CMO also, and from your brand's perspective.
From a brand perspective, when I look at the industry, I see media has shrunk. I see journalists are not there anymore. A lot of the contacts I had 10 years ago, 15 years ago are suddenly not in the business. A lot of them have jumped ship and come onto the client side. So relationships have gone. And new media and new platforms have come in. And a lot of the paid influencer culture is taking over. How can I get a mix of all of this in, and then take for instance Raj Shamani, for a brand interaction where he does a 1 hour, 2 hour video, he charges anything between 40 to 50 lakhs. That's insane amount of money. 40 to 50 lakhs could be my retainer for a PR agency for a year. How are we able to, no? Yes? I wish, yeah. So how is the PR agency then tackling with all these new outlets and platforms and then putting it together in an affordable manner to the client? Because client at the end of the day has no money. He will always say, paisa nahi hai, magar CEO 50 lakhs he will give to a Raj Shamani. So there is money. But how are you able to design a package and create that value where he's willing to accept it and they are willing to, pay for this service? Someone said, do a brand audit. Pay for that brand service. A lot of clients are offended when a PR agency said, I will come for a pitch, I will pitch for your business, but I will charge a pitch fee of 2.5 lakhs. What is the value of the pitch that you're making for me? Because you're bringing all these elements in. You will have to educate the client to get to that awareness stage and then say that this is everything that you bring in, including the new platforms, including new ways of working, and that is what is going to happen in the next 10, 15 years. The more you remain niche, the more you're going to get integrated, the more platforms you're going to be operating on, and the more value you need to add to my business. When I say value, it's a, kind of a ambiguous word. What value means, I'm getting more leads, I'm getting, my business is growing, my reputation is growing. Crises don't last too long. Crises will happen. Like Sir was saying that, one of the machines just tilted. Gravity, you couldn't do anything about it. How you deal with that, that was important. So how crises don't last and how, as a business, I stay relevant. If you're able to influence each of these areas, you will be relevant.
See, I just want to speak on, because I'm on the other side of the table, right? See, even as a CMO now, we have finite resources in terms of the money or the budgets that we are given, okay, in any quarter or any business year. And then there is also the added pressure ki, oh, now do influencer marketing also. Now there's AI, do something here also, do something there also. And then, but our numbers and our targets are sacrosanct, right? We also have to meet that. So the challenge that any CMO or any decision maker faces is, how do you use these finite resources? How do you diversify across channels in a way to see what's giving you the best ROI? And then how do you recalibrate that month on month or quarter on quarter to ensure that your targets are being met at the end of the day? Because I'm being evaluated on that, right? And of course on new initiatives and those kind of things. So whenever you bring something to the table, you also have to see if that particular idea or whatever you're bringing to the table is at that point fitting into their scheme of things. If not, then how can you make it fit into their scheme? Can you own more than 3 or 4 pieces? Can you also do founder branding? Can you also do influencer marketing? Can you also own the SEO piece for the company? If you're able to do that, they'll be okay to park a little more money with you.
So last question from me, and you can't escape my question because I'm the one who's going to tell those guys to open the lunch there. See, PR agencies is association of people. Okay, and you CMOs, CCOs, wherever you go from one company to another company to another company, you prefer largely working with the same people that you probably worked with before. So what do you see in people that you want to work with them again and again? Who are those people? Why do you want to work with them again and again?
I have worked with you. I mean, our working relation goes back a decade. Yes, yes. So it goes back a decade. So I want to say this on the record that I trust Vikram implicitly. I know when he brings something to the table, it is vetted, it is verified, and it is in my best interest. I know that when I'm working with him, it's not a self-serving, one-sided transaction. I know it's something he's doing this in my best interest or in the best interest of the outcome that I want for the company. And that's why I like working with Vikram. So the crux of the matter is you only work with people you trust. If there is no trust, trust is the bottom line of any relationship, whether it's friends or your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, colleagues, your co-founder, your partners, your investors. If trust is missing, that relationship is doomed to fail sooner or later. And if you want relationships to sustain over a long period of time, there has to be implicit trust in the other person. And I think I have that in you, in the team here at Bloomingdale. So that's why I think I will keep coming back and working with you all whenever I move companies.
Trust is at the base of everything. I think added dimension to that would be both of us, the person that I'm working with and me, we both are invested in the growth of the organization. We both are invested in it. It's not just about your growth or my growth. It's about the organization. And if the organization does not grow, then you and I have a problem, a different kind of problem.
I would like to say, is the PR agency is my 3M friend or not? That's it. If you are my 3M friend, then yes, you are with me for more lunches.
Well, in a way, that gives me an opportunity to summarize on what I shared or we've been sharing. Number one is the context, have the content right. Okay. Secondly, it is how you get involved with your client and which got you to the listening. Okay, listen twice before you speak once. And then the fifth point, which is the trust. So with trust, you build legacy. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much to each one of you to take out time to share such great insights. I think you've given enough brain enough fodder, and I think it's time for us to give our stomach some food as well. So thank you so much. We're very happy and grateful that you could make the time to meet us today. Thank you.